Hey Fiction Bros, what's up? Hope you're all doing well. Everyone is remembering a time, a simpler time, when the Straw Hats were young and waged the war against the world government and any slobby. Oh god, I remember that time. What I also remember from that exact time is a certain ability, the Asura god mode of Roronoa Zoro. At the time, it was literally the coolest move Zoro had ever used, and now, after all these years, the Asura god has finally returned. The Enma wielder, Asura user, Conquerors Haki god has shown just what he is. Okay, I'm just sitting here in awe after reading chapter 1010 of the One Piece manga. A lot of fans will feel the same way as I do about this. Gosh darn it, the whole chapter was so beautiful. After witnessing the events in chapter 1009, I wasn't expecting much. I mean, Zoro and Kid were absolute madmen in that chapter. After the worst generation had the upper hand, I thought the next chapter was going to be the enemy's comeback. I have never been so wrong ever in my life. Oda, I love you, and I'll say this loud and clear and hope one day you'll hear me. This video is for everyone who laughed at me when I said that Wano was going to be Zoro's arc. In real life and online discussions, I talked about how Zoro has been a serious force to be reckoned with, and even with the proof, they all just laughed and started power scaling characters. This is not to say that I'm a Zoro fan. I like everyone. Now, power scaling in general isn't something I like so much, but damn it if this chapter didn't prove everyone wrong. Granted, for a long time Zoro's strength was on the books, but I never could have imagined how much of a treat it would be to see it in action. But that wasn't all of what was in the chapter. Oh lord, far from it. Ever since the chapter numbers reached 4 digits, I've never been disappointed, legitimately, not even once. So yeah, let's begin this review. I usually write scripts for this video, but I tried to go in for a raw voiceover, then failed, then reverted back to the script. Hopefully you'll see the hints of excitement in my voice. Also, by the way, there are timestamps in the video if you want to go ahead to a particular portion of the review and discussion. Yeah, so chapter 1010 began with Big Mom falling from the top of Onigashima castle. Never have I ever been more happy seeing someone's demise other than Big Mom. Seriously, in terms of Yonko prowess, Mama has nothing on Kaido, who is a serious powerhouse. Just after she fell, we saw our boy Zoro fighting the good fight by slicing up Prometheus. Just immediately afterwards, Kaido confirmed what I just said a couple of seconds ago. Lin is nothing. Deadweight, literally. If it weren't for her political skills, she's by far the weakest Yonko. I think everybody knows that. But regardless, Kaido went on to save Prometheus and was stopped by Trafalgar Law. This was followed by Kid, Law, and Zoro talking about their plan finally succeeding against Big Mom. Their ultimate goal was to split them apart to focus on one opponent at a time. But then Zeus saved Big Mom from falling down. This means that things aren't necessarily in the favor of our protagonist, Luffy, Kid and Law, Zoro, Killer. Speaking of favors, it seems like all of what I've said about Big Mom might be proven wrong in a couple of other chapters. The Yonko has something up her sleeve, and there's no telling what she and Zeus are cooking up in the clouds. Let's see what the next chapters have in store for us. After the fierce fighting in the previous chapters, we saw an unconscious Luffy staring at Kaido with empty eyes. I mean, look at just the ferocity of Luffy. Is it any wonder he's come so far? Even in the midst of total unconsciousness, he was staring at Kaido with a killer intent beyond comparison. He did that before in Act 1, and he's doing it again when the arc is near its culmination, I guess. Kaido, being the sadistic boss of cruelty that he is, decided to give Luffy a serious takedown while he is unconscious. He's too dangerous to be kept alive. I'm not blaming Kaido. If I were him, I'd have wanted to take care of the guy like that as quickly as possible. But Luffy isn't alone. Gosh darn it, Luffy isn't alone. Gosh darn it, I cannot control my goosebumps, fellas. Luffy isn't alone. Roger wasn't alone. Shanks isn't alone. Each of these 3 Straw Hat wielders had one thing with them: their first mates, their vice captains, the OGs beyond the main mafioso, so to speak. I cannot control myself. All the training, everything paid off. Zoro is now officially above everyone else in the Straw Hat Pirates hierarchy, at least in my opinion. In this battle alone, time and time again, Zoro has demonstrated prowess beyond anything we've ever seen. He has brought his best foot forward. I honestly thought that the time when Zoro was on the ground at Onigashima, that the manifestation of his Conquerors Haki would be a one and done deal. In the midst of such a war, this was a given since Luffy manifested it in a similar manner at Marineford, but no way could I have expected the way Zoro. In the introduction of this video, I talked about any slobby and how Zoro's Asura was the coolest thing I've ever seen. Let me add more to that now. I had been craving for a moment when I got to see it again. I waited a lot. Shabondi arc? Nope. Fishman Island? Nope. Dressrosa Bunk Hazard? Nope. But when it came, oh boy did it come with a bang. I reiterate, I never expected Zoro's Asura to manifest side by side with his Conquerors Haki. With the Enma in hand, he cut Kaido, but it's only a scratch for a man like Kaido. I mean, I don't have anything against that. Okay, Kaido is a monster and Zoro did cut him, and that's enough for me. Honestly, that is enough for me. I don't want anything else beyond that. With Zoro and Law down, Kid and Killer were ready to face whatever Big Mom has up her sleeve. The only fight left was between an unconscious Luffy and Kaido. Wait, did I say unconscious? Well, Luffy, as it turned out, got back up on his feet and started thinking back. He finally had the solution. It was when all the chips were down in general shonen fashion that Luffy finally figured out what would be the ideal solution to take down a foe like Kaido. Luffy did what we were all waiting for. Okay, if Zoro manifesting his Haki wasn't enough, this happened too. He fully awakened his Conqueror's Haki and coated it with his punch and gave Kaido not one, but 2 freaking punches. Come on, man. Now, Luffy returning to his senses and giving up a 1-2 to Kaido was cool and all, but what I really loved was the mechanics of it all. Conqueror's Haki is now being used as an actual fighting tool rather than simply a tool to check the willpower of the opponent. In the past, most of the One Piece subreddits and discussion groups rendered Conqueror's Haki more or less invalid. Armament Haki was the solid solution to every fight. Now it's a whole another ballgame, fellas. It's about time too, since I get the feeling the next 40 or 50 chapters will sign the end of the Onigashima fiasco. This in turn would lead us to newer arcs with even more powerful foes. Quite possibly the aftermath of the Onigashima arc and the events that are already in motion at Marijoa will lead us to seeing more powerful characters. We all know that the Elbaf arc is coming soon. Shanks' appearance is going to be one more point in the future. Among many other characters, they're all in the books. This new fighting style will take Conqueror's Haki to the next level. This is the Haki of the future. That sounds about right, I guess. Strangely enough, it also has its appearances in the past. As Kaido said, only a few talented beings can possess such a powerful ability. This brings me back to Oden's flashback arc, which showcased a fight between Whitebeard and Goldie Roger. When the two monsters clashed, they just clashed with their swords not even touching. Luffy cutting and jabbing Kaido clad in Conqueror's Haki is a sign that he's quickly growing into the role that he was given when he took down Big Mom. The fifth C. Like Zoro, Luffy's training paid off too. The only difference being that Luffy trained a lot in quite less time. Zoro has been training forever, ever since he got cut by Mihawk in the Barate arc. He's now truly a monster. Ichiro Oda is nothing short of a monster himself. Again, since the chapter went 4 digits, each chapter has been a godsend. Also, quick mention to Trappy Boy, he's been a real OG in this entire arc, helping out whenever he can. Today, I just beamed seeing his shocked face when he saw Luffy finally using Conqueror's Haki the way he did. All in all, it was a chapter that truly lived up to its name, Conqueror's Haki, no doubt about that whatsoever. Okay, I'm gonna end the video now. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If this was a good review, be sure to like the video and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.